Welcome back, students. This is your Dean CountXevious. Considering this is the holidays and I'm having a blast, I've decided to talk to you as Darth Vader. I even have the sweatshirt to prove it. I hope you're having a great holidays and are definitely looking forward to having a great holiday cup. If you're like me and your starters broke, you would probably be looking more forward towards the holiday cup than the Master League. That said, let's get straight down into the Meta Simplified video. As always, I have broken down Pokemon into different typings and different functions that they give in the meta. You have the flyers, the ground type, the grass types, and the electric types. And they're put together in such a way that the Pokemon at the top beats the one at the bottom. For example, Skarmory beats Altaria, and Altaria on the other hand beats Mandibuss. And Diggersby beats Galarian Stunfisk, Venusaur beats Shiftry, and so on. These are going to form your, let's say, the rectangle that I usually go for, that X beats Y, Y beats Z, Z beats A beats X. How it's going to work is like how you see on the screen right now. So the flyers are going to have a good time against, let's say, the ground type Pokemon. The ground type Pokemon are going to have good times against the electric and bad times against the grass types, and the electric types are going to beat the flyers at the top. There's also going to be let's say an X relationship, a crisscross relationship. That's basically your flyers are going to be able to beat the grass types, and your ground type Pokemon are going to be able to shut down let's say the electrics. Some exceptions are there in this case, being that Diggersby having access to the Fire Punch can beat the flyer, which is Skarmory. Let's say we now have a rectangle of life, and if you actually look at it, you can see that Pokemon like Altaria are going to have a relatively free reign based on the moveset. So we have another extra typing that I need to add to this rectangle of life, and that's going to be your Ice-type Pokemon. Ice-type Pokemon do well against three of the typings in the rectangle. That's your flyers, your ground types, and your grass types. What gives the Ice types away is that they lose to some of the electric types. Like, for example, Magnezone can beat the Ice types with its access to Mirror Shot, and Alolan Graveler can beat the Ice types because of the access that it has to Rock Blast, which does super effective damage to the Ice type Pokemon. We now have, let's say, a condensed meta that's going to have Pokemon that have different roles and functions. So for me, whenever I look at a meta, I also like to look at potential save swaps, Pokemon that can do very well or beat most of the Pokemon in the meta. And this is going to be, for me at least, is Vigoroth and Obstagoon. They're both counter users and they have access to spammy moves. Vigoroth has access to Body Slam and Obstagoon has access to Night Slash. Obstagoon comes with the added advantage if you like to play, if you like to gamble, you might get a Night Slash boost and go through the entire opponent team. Vigoroth has, let's say, play against all the Pokemon that's in this big red box here. Some exceptions are that Frostlass can do well against Vigoroth, but will lose to Obstagoon. Altaria, it's an iffy matchup. It's based on what shielding scenarios you play, but Altaria picks up Obstagoon, but can lose to Vigoroth. I think in the Zero Shields, if you have a good enough IV Vigoroth, if you have a 2 counter advantage, you can go straight Body Slam and kill the Altaria. Vigoroth also ends up beating the Altaria in the 2 shielding scenario. So you can decide how you want to play the matchup based on the situation you are in the game, but still advantage is to Altaria more than Vigoroth. Another counter for these two Pokemon is another one in the orange, and that's your Stunfisk. It has access to very spammy moves, and it's also pretty tanky. So in the end, it's going to be, let's say, a sort of an even matchup with the Stunfisk coming out with just a little bit of an advantage. Venusaur also does well against Vigoroth and Obstagoon, mostly because Venusaur is very high. It has very high attack, and its moves Frenzy Plant does a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of Vigoroths when you start your Holiday Cup games, because Vigoroth is amazing in this meta. So to counter Vigoroth, you have two specific Pokemon. That's Wigglytuff and Alolan Marowak. Wigglytuff is a great counter, mostly because of the fact that it has access to Charm, and Charm shreds most of the Pokemon in the meta. There's also a little Ninetales, but I did not want to put it in the Meta Simplified video. The disadvantage for Alolan Marowak, for example, is that it can beat the Vigoroth, but it loses pretty hard to the Obstagoon because Obstagoon is a part Dark type and it has access to Night Slash. Some notable mentions, I have 2 Pokemon in mind, and these are Noxowl and Charizard. Yes, both are flyers, but I did not find their function to exactly be that of flyers. For example, Charizard can in the end do well against Vigoroth and Obstagoon if you manage to land the Blast Moon. Charizard does very, very well against the Charmers. Charizard also does well against some of the electric types, for example Magnezone and Galvantula. Charizard does okay because of the Fire Spin. Charizard also does great against Diggersby and also against the Ice types. You can probably shield the Charizard and, let's say, Fire Spin down the Ice types. Noxowl, on the other hand, gives you very good matchups against, very neutral matchups, as I would say, against quite a bit of Pokemon in the meta. It has play against the Grass types, it has play against Diggersby, it has play against the Charmers, it has play against the Alolan Marowak. Because Alolan Marowak is a Ghost type and Noxowl is a part normal, Shadow Bone, Shadow Ball does no damage whatsoever. And Bone Club probably falls off before it reaches Noctowl in the sky. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope this helps. If you want a little bit more in-depth discussion about the meta, we're going to go live on Twitch and YouTube on Monday evening at 18:30 Central European Standard Time. We will be doing this with Rochababy and the other 2 My PvP Academia professors, Amanda and Spleen Legion. Thanks a lot for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe. See you soon.